It's a sad day, my friends. My Glock 81 has perished. I'll stick up the footage of how it broke. I'm a bit disappointed. I've only had this for, I don't know, a couple of months. I really love it. I've got a 78 as well, which is a bit worse for wear, but still going strong. I've had the 78 a little bit longer than this 81, so I'm surprised this is broken as quickly as it has. Never mind. I have beaten it to hell, so it's not completely unsurprising. I'll have to get another one. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys these knives are not completely indestructible, unfortunately. But I had a good run with it, so no matter. I was eyeing up a green one anyway, so this will give me the excuse I need to get that. So anyway, a sad day. See you again soon. Hi, so as you previously saw, yeah, I broke my Glock's 81 today, unfortunately. Yeah. Now I just take this opportunity just to say to anyone who's into throwing knives or getting into throwing knives that they're very delicate, most of them, from my experience. You know, I've owned quite a few. I do have a 78 as well, which I've had a bit longer, which has held up not too bad. It's got a few chips and things in it, but that's due to other knives hitting it during the course of its life. But all in all, it's not doing too badly. It's a bit of a rattler, but that one's done all right. But to be honest, nearly every knife I've ever owned, I've had some issue with, you know, broken tips, bending blades, broken blades, you name it. The trouble is throwing is very hard on knives, and you know, more often than not they break. I mean, most knives I've used for throwing have broken to some extent within the first few weeks. My other favourite knife is this Cold Steel GI Tanto. And look at the state of that. I snapped the tip off it recently, look. Still throws amazingly. Love it. One of my favourite knives, but yeah, look at the state of it. And this I've probably had less than 6 months. But, you know, again, that's just the nature of throwing knives, unfortunately. Most knives that you throw are going to end up broken. It's just the way it is. But I do have a challenge for any manufacturers out there that can come up with a knife for throwing that does not break within, you know, 6 months, shall we say. So if there's anyone out there who wants to take that challenge up, I'm your man to test it out, because I just seem to break everything. That's not the end of the world. I mean, you know, even if the tips go, you can, you know, you can adjust it and sort of reshape the blade or whatever you need to do. It's not like a massive issue. It's just a bit of a shame, really. You know, I feel a bit, because the Glock is supposed to be indestructible. Well, not indestructible. Nothing's indestructible. But I thought it would have held up to a lot more. And you know, I throw quite a lot. Like, I don't use all my knives all the time, but you know, I throw them quite a bit. I have to say, over long distances, short distances. So you know, I'm hard on them, and you know, I guess this is why they break. As I say, I mean, I'm pleased with the 78. The 78's held up really well. Maybe because you know, the Glocks are kind of mass produced. Maybe you know, you get some that will last forever and some that don't. You know, it's like anything else. And you know, this one was just a bit of a dud. You know, but I was pleased with it all the while it was in one piece. It was awesome. I think they're great knives. You know, it doesn't change my opinion on them one bit. Um, but yeah, it's a bit of a shame. Anyway, I'll continue my quest to find the perfect throwing knife, indestructible throwing knife. And as I said, a challenge to any of you knife manufacturers, if you watch this, you've got something that you think you know, can stand up to total punishment. I'm your guy. I'm your tester. I'll give it a good go. I'd love to find a knife, you know, in the same vein as the Glock, because I like the look of them, you know, but something really sort of sturdy. But yeah, there we go. It's just a short video, really, just regarding throwing knives. And you know, don't you know, people that have been throwing for a while know what I'm talking about. It's more people that, you know, are just getting into the hobby, really. Just a word of advice: don't spend extortionate amounts of money on knives to throw. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. You know, they'll break. Don't spend hundreds of pounds. 50 quid max is what you want to be spending, and you can get some decent stuff. I think the GI Tanto, definitely the Glock is under £50, British pounds that is. The GI Tanto I think was under 50. You can get them pretty cheap anyway. The other one I use is the Cold Steel True Flight Thrower, which is very sturdy actually. That one I've got no problems with, but the blade on that is really thick. That's probably the best throwing knife you can get, hands down. Like in terms of, you know, sturdiness, because it's got a nice thick blade on it. I'd recommend that one as you know, if you're looking to get a first throwing knife, something like that is pretty awesome. So I suppose you could say that Cold Steel have already invented the indestructible throwing knife aforementioned. But yeah, anyway, I'm feeling a little bit sad. I'll go and commiserate. Actually, what I'll probably do is just go online and see if I can find another knife to replace it, because that's what we do, isn't it? All right. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. See you again.